And can you see my screen as well? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Excellent, sir. Let's get started. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Moin. I'm one of the analysts over here, and this is our weekly prep, typically taken by my buddy Smooth. But I guess tonight he's too busy with this uptrend, okay, to bother about us. But before I start, my favorite disclaimer: anything that I mentioned here or on the server or by any of the analysts is not any type of financial advice. We're not qualified to give you that. Think of it totally from the perspective of learning. Okay, and let's take it forward. So, what are we looking at? Tell me, what do you guys want to have reviewed? What do you guys want to say? I'm all yours. But if you are not watching this, I hope you all are looking at the tremendous move the futures is having. Right, we opened ES almost at like 1.3% up now. So if we are looking at the chart
Order filled.
from where we are till where we should go, we are literally looking at on ES, which is SPY equivalent. We are literally looking at a $13 move. Sorry, a $10 move. Okay, 83 to 53. Yeah, 85 to say 55. So that is, yep, we are looking at a pretty heavy move here. Okay, so that's almost like
Order filled.
straight away a $8 move right away on SPY for a gap up tomorrow if we manage to hold anywhere close to this base. So keep in mind, that's a drastic move, one of the biggest futures openings I have seen in the time that I have been trading futures. I don't know about you, Geo, but this is like a huge gap up if it can sustain.
Enormous.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking to see where I could get in.
Yeah. I actually finished one account right at open. Okay, and two others I made pretty good. So this is literally amazing what you're seeing here. And if I'm looking at my personal levels on ES, because this basically is what I use to track SPY in the after hours, because during the day we go up. What we are looking at is literally before this, we do not have anything to stop us. Literally. Okay. So I'm looking at from here another $2 move on SPY, honestly, if it continues the pace. I know it sounds very drastic, but like by tomorrow morning, if we cap up $10, I will be the last surprised person here.
So by market open, it's gapped up as much as it's gapped up starting tonight. Do we
Mm-hmm.
think that's sustainable? That'll stay at that level, keep going, or do you think there might be a retracement?
There can always be a retracement, Eric,
Mm-hmm.
but till that
Yep.
happens, I have nothing telling me this thing is retracing, right?
Yeah, like you're gonna have the people thinking the gap fill, all that, but there's nothing saying when that's gonna happen. And honestly, with this big bullish move, I would just look for a continuation. I would look for a point to get in on a retracement, but I would look for a point to get in long.
Yeah. Okay. Like the chart I posted in futures, I was scalping off that. Every time it was rejecting from here, I was going in, but with Asia opening up now, your bullish momentum is just continuing. So based on nothing that we see now, till it happens, it doesn't happen. Okay, it's very easy to call it later in YouTube saying I saw this, I saw that, but every single thing on the chart right now is telling you this guy is going up. Full stop. Okay, and we treat it that way, bro. Makes sense, Eric?
Mm-hmm.
The minimum sign of weakness I wanna see on ES is basically if I start closing below the weekly lows, which is right here, 5741, by the time we wake up tomorrow morning, I would think like, okay, this gap might go. Okay, but otherwise, till now, this thing is just pure bullish. All he's telling you is I want to go up.
Hmm.
Okay, so we'll watch. Let's see how Asia sustains because we still have a while. But for now, the markets are tremendously bullish. Okay, and if you're trading NQ, this is where my last trade I'm targeting, somewhere around 502. But let's see what happens. Might get a few knives here and there. It can happen. Let's see. Okay. All right. So looking at SPY, based on that, we are projecting from here, like plain and simple, an $8 move right now. So if we close at 565, sorry, on the last day, we're looking at 573. Okay, that's the exact place we're looking at. This high of this week, 570, this is being taken out already in the futures world. Okay, so if you're looking at this, the key level I would be looking up over here on the daily chart because we are so high up. I am not looking at anything lower. Okay, the key level I'm looking for this week is literally what is next for me because this was my last week's high. Okay, we are already over it. No point in looking here. So what am I looking at over here is where is the next place where I can basically see some sort of a resistance or something, which I am literally looking right up here, which is the 573. If you see, it so correlates with the move that is happening right now where we opened up. Okay, I was telling you guys the 573.62-ish, okay, which is basically where we are struggling. So the nice move up that we look at this week is plain and simple for me would be right around here. This is my immediate, sorry, this is my immediate target, 576-ish. This is
Hmm.
where I'm looking at, okay, on the daily chart, right from here where we are on end of March. There you go. That's your 502 on NQ. Mission accomplished. So, sorry, coming back. Okay, now, given that, if that level basically holds on, this is where I'm gonna take it tomorrow, right off the bat. Because if that happens from where we ended up, that's like almost $11 move. Pretty drastic, pretty nice.
So right now we're at what, five? Is that 572?
No, we are at
Is that what I
we
saw?
closed at 565. Okay, we closed at 564.34
You're talking about on Friday.
on Friday, exactly. Because SPY is not after hours, we went up to 565. We closed exactly 565. But translating from the futures, we are basically right now at 573-ish. Okay, so 573 if we are looking at, and you can see exactly that's where basically where we went up to. Tomorrow morning, if this pace sustains, we want either last week's high, which was 570, this to be a support. If that sustains to be a support, we're looking good here, bro. Okay, nothing is telling you this thing is dying. If 570
Mm-hmm.
sustains, my target then is plain and simple 573.62, which was like tonight's SPY, where it's going. But ultimately, this would be my target to the upside, 576.33, which this is the line from where it coordinates to. Okay, on the downside, what if it doesn't sustain, right? Because like the way markets are, one day it goes up as high, the next day it comes down equally hard. Okay, and I'm looking
Mm-hmm.
at a whole week here. Now, if you're looking from a weekly perspective, what would I want to do? I would want tomorrow, the first thing to see is that it starts rejecting, comes below. Okay, that 570 level that we spoke about. If we open below that, the weekly high of 570-ish, then that means like the move that happened right now, That move basically faded. Okay, then what would we be looking at? We would be looking at the huge gap that SPY will be opening up tomorrow, right from here all the way up to here. Make sense? The 570 to 565-ish.
Hmm.
Okay, that's what we want to see on the downside, because as a trader, you need to be prepared to trade both sides, whether it's to the upside or whether it's to the downside. Okay, that's what we want to look at. Now, if that move just fails, 65 also fails, what you're looking at, you are literally looking at throughout the week a move down to the 60s.
Hmm.
Okay, you look at both sides of the trade. From a weekly perspective, if we look at it, we are extremely bullish. Okay, huge candle, small pullback, another big candle with almost no upper wick, which is literally going all the way up, a doji, which really hasn't covered you properly where you want to get covered. Okay, not even coming halfway. And then tonight, if the move sustains, we are looking to open somewhere around here. Okay, so that's there.
Hmm.
And if I go on putting a line, this from the weekly. Okay, these,
Yeah, it's been pretty cool actually.
sorry.
I think it was talking to someone else.
Oh, okay. All right. So this line basically is holding up pretty strong. Nice looking line. If I make another one on the daily as well, now that I'm on a daily chart, I'll move it slightly. Okay. And we broke over. I would like this line to act as a support right now, plain and simple. Okay. More on the weekly, I would love this line on the daily. So move it slightly. Yep. And I would love this line to hold as a support. Okay. And keep on like coming back, getting the pushbacks like Gio said. Every time it pushes back, if it holds, starts pushing back up, I'd like to try to take the move up. This looks pretty good. Okay. And with that, I was just preparing the options thing. I didn't notice the time. I'll post it. Like the key thing to trade is like I love MSTR and Coin because those two move with BTC a lot. So keep an eye on BTC. That's like a very nice way to understand the market sentiment, honestly, because that thing trades 24/7, right? So looking at that, you can literally have an idea of the sentiment, what's happening. Like the move that we saw tonight, it was a move that was in the making. No, let's not mess up my chart here. I love my SPY chart. Give me a sec.
Sebastian, can you grab my bag? It's not the computer bag, it's not the little paisley bag, it's in the trunk. Oh, no, it was actually in the car. Can you grab it for me, please?
Eric, mind
When
muting
you're
your
sitting in
mic,
the back.
please.
It's a red paisley, whatever it is.
Eric, you mind muting your mic?
I'm sorry, I was just asking my son to grab a bag for me.
No worries. If you look at the move, okay, like the move that's happening today, this move was actually being very much shown on BTC. Like if you look at Friday from where we closed, we never came down through the weekend. Okay, you are constantly moving up on a 30-minute chart. You're using the 50 EMA as a support, which is my white line. Okay, and you are holding it pretty nicely and keeping on moving up. So this move was like a precursor, like you had the indication that was showing it up. The other thing that I typically watch to understand the market sentiment is like if the US dollar is typically doing good, that tells you like overall what's the move that's going to happen for the market. Okay. So you can see like the US dollar opened pretty high, right? We basically need the dollar to sustain. Okay, the ticker is DXY, which basically shows you the US dollar strength. Because if the market is very weak, or the trade deals or tariff deals, whatever is looking bad for the US market, okay, the dollar will be the first one to get hit. So that's another is thing that I keep an eye on, just to have an idea of like what it's doing. Okay, so we covered SPY. Let us cover, and personally, this is one of my favorite things that I keep on watching because I earn in US dollars, but I have to spend in Canadian dollars. So I want US dollar always to keep up. It sounds a bit unpatriotic, but if US dollar is strong, it's better for me. Okay, let's look at QQQ. Would be a very similar story. So we closed right around here. Okay, 487 for the day. But if we look at the end where we ended up Friday is close to 488, let's say. We're looking at very similar moves, expecting to open up if this space sustains somewhere around here, 498-ish, because exactly that's where up to where right now. Upside, definitely we want this 493 to hold. Even if a pullback happens, this is my pivot. If 493 holds, I'm gonna be bullish. Okay, my target for the week at the list is like 505, which is here because QQQ moves much faster than SPY, so the targets are higher as well. Okay, for the downside, very similar. By tomorrow morning, if we are breaking down over 493, we are looking to fill at least a $5 to $6 gap from where we are. Okay, so that's the way basically I will look at this one. All right, so these are my usual suspects. Let's look at the other two things that I trade very frequently, Tesla and Nvidia. Let's look at them. So with Tesla, this thing, just be a bit careful. It has a mind of its own. Two tickers, I always find like literally has no respect for the market, are so big. I guess like they call their own shots. One is Tesla, the other is Apple. Okay, the whole market can be down. These two can be just going in the other direction and vice versa. So with Tesla, what I really want to say is tomorrow, a strong move up, opening right above this, the previous level I had on the 304. Market is 304. Okay, this would be my pivot for tomorrow and for the week. Okay, if we open above 304 for tomorrow, I'm going to be bullish on this. Target is pretty simple, 325 for by end of the week. Because if the bullish move started, it's going to hopefully sustain. We don't have anything to hold us back actually here. Okay, I'm going to totally ignore the 310 level that I have. Yeah, it's a nice move, but if I'm targeting for end of the week, this would be my target. What about the downside? Very similarly, tomorrow if we don't break 304 and open below, then I am looking at the 290s for an immediate term. Okay, the 290s to be a support and to make a move up from there. So that's the things that I'm looking at. For Tesla, 304, 310, 307, you can say a minor one. 310, 325 is the ultimate to the upside for the week. And downside, if I'm looking at, if 304 flushes, I'm again looking back to 290s. 295 would be a minor one, but 290s is the primary one that I'm looking to right over here. Okay, and if it really flushes, then we are looking like right down to this levels. Okay, back again, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Nvidia. If you guys have
By the
seen
way, what if it opens above like 312, 313?
even more bullish, then we want to see 325 our target. Okay, anything
So if
above
it
304 by
Mhm.
9:30, right? I don't care
Mhm.
about the pre-market much. Okay, because pre-market it can keep on faking us, but what really matters is where it opens in the at 9:30ish to 10,
Mhm.
where it sustains. If your 304 holds, okay, we are good to go, brother. Or anything
Hmm.
above
So if it opens up at 312, you're gonna automatically buy a call because you
325.
assume it's gonna go to okay.
Okay,
And if it opens below 304,
if it opens below 304 and not opens, okay, for me the open is 9:30 to 10. If that level does not sustain,
okay.
I am seriously looking it down.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, back to 290s.
Order
But
filled.
like I said with Tesla, it has a mind of its own. So be
Yeah.
very careful whenever you trade
Order
it.
filled.
Okay, it always has a mind of its own. All right. Any other questions from anybody, please?
Well, I've got a question about Tesla. Now, this is just in terms of the overall fundamentals and technicals and stuff. I would think it's just going to absolutely collapse because I don't see any reason for the move to begin with besides sentiment. Um, what are you thinking about it besides the current outlook in the chart showing that it's a bullish move right now?
On Tesla,
Yes, sir.
I would be very bullish on this move, brother. Can I ask, like, why you are thinking like that? Maybe I'm missing something completely here. Let's hear your
Well,
viewpoint.
I'm thinking that you're right on with your charts and stuff, but I'm just thinking overall stock performance for Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't see anything to sustain this continued bullish pattern
Mm-hmm.
besides market sentiment, just people loving it. That's all. I don't know. I'm just kind of
I get your
I
viewpoint.
see I see the stock, really taking a dive sometime soon again, just like it has over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that aside, I'll just focus on the charts.
True. I mean, like, fundamental wise, honestly, Tesla is not that strong right now. Okay. If you look at it, if you look at it, okay, we missed earnings for 4 of the last 5 quarters. Okay. So if you look at it from that perspective, I can totally understand your perspective. If you look at their numbers are not doing good. One thing that I don't know how many of you have seen, there is a Chinese car company called BYD. It's an electric
Yeah.
car company.
Yeah.
Okay, and it is pretty popular in the third world. Okay, because I come from a third world country. I have seen it in my country a few years back and the inroads that they have made. Okay, quality is pretty good. Prices literally at less than half of Tesla's prices, honestly. Okay, and they overtook Tesla in terms of total sales. Now,
Well,
sorry.
I did not realize that.
Okay, and because see, as time goes, technology becomes cheaper, right? Okay, as more time goes, technology becomes cheaper and cheaper. Now, there will be more competitors coming up. Now, if this trade deal and everything with China is happening well, the tariffs would be lower. Yeah, Elon Musk is good friends with Mr. Trump and everything. He's a superb businessman, but you do need to realize, right? It's the numbers that play ultimately in the game. Okay, now looking at the population, I'll be de- I'll be deviating a bit over here, right? Most of you guys are in US, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
I am.
Okay, I'm in Canada. We have a landmass way bigger than you guys. Our
Yes.
population is less than 10% of your population. Why do you think our economy does not thrive?
Not enough demand.
Exactly, not enough consumerism.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, if the population of Canada increased over the next 5 years, okay, from 38 million to let's say 75 million, what will be happening?
Economy
Overall,
would grow.
we would grow because the whole economy would be, you need infrastructure to support this level of population. You
Mm-hmm.
need to feed these people, have industries. Okay, the factories of Honda, Toyota, the US car makers in Canada start need to producing more cars, or more cars need to come in because people need a ride, right? It's a
Mm-hmm.
cycle. Okay, very similarly, okay, if the so if you go to a third world country, if you make inroads over there, the population is there, okay, to sustain. Naturally, just think of it. In a third world country, people are not cash rich. Financing is not that great, right? So we will be looking to go for cheaper cars like Neo, BYD, these ones. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's there. So I totally understand like when you say like fundamental wise, Tesla doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Okay, but then again, we don't know when that's gonna happen. Okay, for
Right.
now, I will go with the market sentiment because if you look at it, the market sentiment literally is just moving things. People do not look at fundamentals anymore.
Hmm.
Okay, very few people even understand fundamentals. Ask like 10 traders who is trading in the market today. See how many people knows even basic fundamentals like what is EPS.
What is EBITDA?
Okay, plain and simple. Those of you who run your business, you know your how to read your balance sheets and everything very properly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or those of you who basically studied any type of accounting or that even in high school know that. I can bet with you, out of 10 people today, 8 would not know how to read a balance sheet. I'm not talking about
True.
us. I'm talking about the general population who are trading. So when
Order
they
True.
filled.
trade, you have to realize like they don't care about the fundamentals and that. Okay, all these guys are looking at is the
Sentiment.
president said it's a
News.
good time to
Mm-hmm.
buy stocks. Buy stocks.
Mm-hmm.
Full stop. Market boomed. Okay, trade deal happening. Nobody reads whether the trade deal is really good, whether the trade deal is really bad or whatever. People buy. That's the world we live in. So you gotta adjust, brother. Because the
The worst
market is
part is they
not
didn't
gonna
even
adjust for you.
announce.
Yeah, that's
The,
really hard. Adjusting is really hard. I've been trading off of fundamentals for too long and not adjusting quick enough because, yeah, fundamentals are this is crazy town, but that's okay. Yep, if you're going to trade, you got to go with market sentiment.
True.
So, thank you.
But if you're a long-term trader, long-term investor and that,
Ah,
okay,
that's where
fundamentals
the
really matter,
pencils come.
brother. Because at the end of the day, things get priced in. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you have that appetite and if you have the capital and the sustainability to hold, continue with what you are doing. Because we all trade differently. If you're a scalper like me, throw fundamentals out of the window. Sorry
Yeah.
to say that. Okay, but that's the
No,
reality.
it makes
Order
sense.
filled.
Okay, Usman, you were saying something.
sorry, I was just saying that there's nothing announced about the trade deal either, right? Like they just said that they did some part of it. They haven't announced anything, and the market is like soaring right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the world that we live in.
That's it. Okay, I have to adjust to whatever is there.
And the second thing is we all trade differently based on different accounts. I'm sure Moin does this as well, right? Like his long term accounts, he doesn't Like if Tesla looks bearish, that's fine. Or if something else looks bearish, you won't get it, but you'll get it later when the market changes. But on our scalping accounts or on our day trading accounts, we trade those completely differently. Where if a Tesla breaks to the upside because of a news, we trade it to the upside. If it trades to the downside, we do it to the downside, for example, right? Same goes, for example, with a very nice stock like Apple, right? We do the same thing with it. But on the long term, most of us will buy Apple when it comes down and will keep on holding it, for an X amount of return or whenever you're cashing it out or whatever. So also what your account is, or like the type of account that you have, also dictates what you're going to do with that stock or whatever you're holding.
As long as you don't trade penny stocks for the long term, you're good. Okay, with blue chips, if you buy whenever after the dip, the slightest turn, the slightest change of sentiment when you see the upside being happening, you get in on those places, you are good.
Order filled. Order filled.
Okay. All right. So the floor is open, guys, for the charts, for anything you guys want to have reviewed.
Order filled.
With charts, whatever trades you want to have reviewed, feel free to shoot. I did my 4 usual suspects. I will post my options ideas for the week. Okay. And yeah, after this, give me about another 15 minutes or something. I pretty much got it ready. I'll start posting them. And then, yeah, we can go
And
from
then,
there. But tell me like whatever
Hey, Moin.
charts you want to
but
have
tell me like
reviewed.
whatever charts you want to have reviewed.
Can you
Well,
review
can you
him?
look at Raul here?
Sorry?
Can you review on him?
Kamran, sorry, say again. You have your voice is getting muffled. Tell me again.
HIMS, HIMS.
Okay. This was a nice
Yeah, I
call.
see is the cup on daily chart. Maybe it's pushing towards $270 $70
Your cup
mark.
is not yet done, bro.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe it's doing a cup.
Okay.
So
My drawing is
maybe like
terrible,
70,
but still,
75.
yeah. Nowhere. Okay. Let's draw it better. Wait, there's a drawing tool, I think. There is something called an arc. I forgot which one is it, but there is something called an arc. I'm 100% sure. Give me a sec.
Sure.
Because till I find it, seriously, I'll be keeping thinking about it. Pretty crude drawing. Serves a purpose. Okay. So if you look at it, if I'm drawing the cup, nowhere you're coming near it. Make sense? You
Yeah.
don't have any downtrend on it, Kamran.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. It's pushing towards the 70
Yeah.
mark.
I took profits because like my target was 55-ish. I kept on saying, okay, like when it hit that
Mhm.
level, pretty much I start took profits. I think we were live that day, right? When I was telling about it, or maybe on last Wednesday. Okay, that this is where basically my profit taking is done, but this thing is not done. Nothing is telling me
Yeah.
that the chart is failing yet.
Yeah, it seems the buyers are strong
Yep,
in this momentum.
true. Okay, and if the market
Yeah,
goes
although
up,
the RSI is very high, but it doesn't matter when the stocks are pushing
exactly.
towards the high.
Okay, you still don't have a downward facing RSI, which is telling you the momentum is fading, right? You can keep on
Yeah,
being here for a pretty long time. Okay,
true. Yeah,
from
that
here
makes sense.
price will gradually push up. Just because RSI is high, that means like it's time to short it. Go give your money somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah. As long as intact by the EMA, that's all it matters.
Yeah, you're absolutely
So one
right.
thing to keep in mind with hymns, this is something that I have profited off of the last 3 run-ups that they have had. I
Mhm.
mean I've called this out for the last 2.5 weeks.
True. You were in it
Um,
before all of us.
so with hymns is they're a growth stock that is they have zero correlation to the S&P. They have zero correlation basically to any other sector of the market. So they are
They
a
move
growth.
there by own.
They move by themselves and they
That makes
move
sense.
on numbers. If you look at their earnings they just posted, earnings were phenomenal on one side, but future of outlook, it was a miss. However, 2 days later, for whatever reason, they started to run up. And if you look at, you go back to starting, I believe it was January 23rd,
Of this year.
we saw a run from January 23rd all the way to February, I
Yep.
want to say 19th. I'm not looking, I don't have sorry, I don't have a chart in front of me. I'm on my phone right now.
I'm putting it up for you. It's right here. What you're saying.
Okay, so we have, you see a run up from that to the 19th, and then you had a pullback on the 14th of February, and then that big green candle on, I believe it was the 16th,
18th of February. You had a pullback.
18th of February, where we peaked at 72,
Mm,
which it closed.
okay.
So you had where it closed on that Friday, and then immediately, what does it do?
Mm-hmm. After the earnings.
Immediately,
Profit taking.
immediately you have people profit taking. So
Mhm.
we see
Yeah.
this. If you go back to the last 3 earnings of hymns, you see
Let's
this,
list it out.
that it will run.
Yep.
It will
our
run for
reasons. We had a run.
it will run for about 2.5 weeks, and then it will
Aye.
stop.
Yeah,
So if you're
that makes
counting
But
on
sense.
the weeks, then we are on the first week now, right?
yeah, so we just technically finished week 1.
Mm-hmm.
So, but with hymns, again, it is one of those things that with news in the market, you especially with weight loss drugs, and I don't know if anybody saw the executive order that Trump is supposed to sign tomorrow at 9 a.m., which reduces drug prices for big pharma almost 30 to 80%, depending on what that drug is. So ultimately, that could impact hymns,
For sure.
because this is a organization that people seek out to hymns for lower drug prices. But now, if people are able to get them at a discount price from the typical pharmacy, this could drive that price down a lot faster.
Very interesting outlook. And see, this is the beauty of like, I'm sure you have studied this so much in depth, like you know this very well, right? Like how it typically
Yeah.
behaves and that, because you have been trading it in and out, okay, for a continued period. So you don't need too many things to focus on. That's another lesson I'll take from here. Like the way he spoke, the confidence he showed, it literally shows that he has done his groundwork, the homework, right? Okay,
Mhm.
that's what really matters to me.
I mean, it speaks for itself. The day it was, I think it was 3 days before earnings, I posted exactly my entry and what I was joining in at, and I think it was 2 days after earnings. I think I was already
Order
up
filled.
300%, and there were some people like, "Yo, how did you do this?" And I'm just like, it's like history, especially in the stock market, does not repeat itself. but it typically will rhyme. If that makes sense. So
It doesn't
things
repeat,
will,
but it will what?
it will rhyme.
Rhyme. Okay.
Like show similar. Okay, just
They will show
similar
similarities. You will,
patterns. Okay, or
yes,
behavior.
you will have similar patterns. You will it won't do the exact same thing, but you will see similar patterns. Like the end of day, I was talking to J Band, I don't know his first real name, but I was talking to him on Friday, and I was like, he was like, "Hey, where do you see him going up to close out the day?" Because
Order
we saw
filled.
him doing basically fighting at 50 all day long, and I was like, you know what? It's going to fight at 50 until the 0 day, 0 day expirations are gone. I said, then it's going to run. I was like, and then we could potentially see a close at 52. And then it was like clockwork. As soon as that 2:30 or well, technically, yeah, that 2:30 bell hit, it was like you look at that and what happened at like 2:30. I mean, when we saw the pattern of, hey,
Yeah.
we saw the flag starting to form early on,
Mm-hmm. Go on, brother.
where it started to flag, but it's just like, hey, what are we doing? It could have went to one of two ways. I mean, I saw it as, hey, this is bullish momentum, whereas other people, you could have seen it one of two ways, but right at what was it? Moen, is it 1:30 or 2:30? I can't.
2:30.
2:30.
Yeah.
So right at 2:30, we see that immediate. That's exactly when it starts to run. Because hey, those 0 day, those
You killed
Zero
them.
DT.
those 0 day,
You killed them.
yeah, they're gone. So hey, guess what? I don't have to worry about paying those people out, and now I can run. And that's what we're seeing. That's what we saw at the end of the day, and then we were flat. So potentially, what we can see coming in. I mean, obviously, what we're seeing already right now. I mean, they're sitting at almost 55 right now. I think right before I checked this, it was like 49. Or I mean, 54.90.
Yeah.
So depending on what this executive order that Trump signs at 9 o'clock, basically at market open, whatever those stipulations truly say, that is going to impact the overall.
Okay.
No, not even the market. It won't. It will have a impact on stocks like your growth stocks like Hims, your Novo Dextro, your Modernas, your Pfizer's, things like that. Because hey, that is big pharma. That is at the end of the day, they're losing money out of their pocket, and it's like, okay, well, how is the market going to react?
Great.
So instead of the typical 2-week uptrend that you've seen after earnings, because of that order being signed tomorrow, it could negatively impact all those different companies.
It could be
Obviously.
tank, like
Yeah.
just like he said, because if the drug becomes cheaper, then
Yeah.
your revenues get drastically cut, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's there. But on the other thing that I mentioned last week, I'll mention it again this week. I wouldn't be the last person surprised if him sits 60 on this run. Okay, this void that you have here, the gap that you have here, from mid-February to here, okay, that drop, the pace we are moving, we would love to tap the liquidity here because for the market makers, this is an easy grab. I would be very cautious going for an upside from here. Okay, if it sustains tomorrow, like Ryan said, okay, and moves up, I'm good. Okay, all the way up till here. Does that answer
I
your...
will caution. I will
Sorry, go
caution anybody that is in a May 16th to May 23rd expiration with him. If it touches, I'd say 58 tomorrow,
which
and
is
you're in a
the
50.
lower part, of the
If
gap.
you're in a 50, if you're in a 51
Order filled.
call, if you're in a 41 to, I mean, a 47,
Order
which is
filled.
what I called out for a for 16 for May 16th. If you're in that or the up to 56 that was called out, I would push to weigh your options and potentially getting out, because if we don't close tomorrow at that 57.62 range, I don't see the gap filling by the end of the week.
Basically, you want to take out these highs. Sorry, not this. Sorry.
Yes.
My bad.
No, absolutely. Because
You
what
want to see the
Moen's
weekly
saying
highs being
is,
taken out right from here, and then you want to
Order
basically
filled.
go up to here.
yeah, because I don't like, I'm on the same page as him. If we see a run of over, I don't think we will
Order
have a
filled.
closing candle over 60. We might have wicks that surpass into 60, but I don't think we're closing a candle on, I don't even think on a 15-minute chart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a 15-minute time frame.
You mean like we'll
In
wick up
that-
into this liquidity area and then keep on pushing down?
Yes.
Would that be a nice?
I don't think we, I don't think,
like up to here.
I don't think we close a candle in that $60 range, like on a 15-minute time frame. I think we might wick up all the way there on 15 minutes, but I don't think we close a candle there.
So you're saying
Unless it happens, if it doesn't happen tomorrow, or if we don't close above that 57.70 area tomorrow.
Order filled.
Gotcha, bro. I have a
so if you have
question for
a
Kamran.
Friday expiration, you would
Order
get out.
filled.
Yeah,
Here, you
I
start
understand.
scaling out pretty heavy. You should
Mhm.
start scaling out pretty heavy, not holding the whole position, thinking like it will go there, be a multi, I mean like 100%, 200% runner. You see
Mhm.
profits, okay, 40 to 50% profits are good. Take it. For me, even 20% profits are good.
I mean, green is green at the end of the day. Like my first initial play for the earnings play for him, I did a 39.50 call. I bought 10 contracts. I sold on after the I think third day, I sold all but 3 of them, and I was only up I think 60%. And then the next day, I sold all but 1. I left 1 until Friday, this past Friday, which when it expired. But I mean that last one, it was kind of an anomaly because it ran up. I bought it initially at 310, and I sold it for 14, I think 35.
Wow.
But-
Nice.
Can I
But-
ask a question?
Go ahead.
Not to you, bro, to someone
Oh.
else. How long does it take for your bank to make your money 60%?
Years.
Couple decades.
We're not that bad. Come on, we're not that bad. You guys know my profession, right? We're not that bad, but yeah, looking at close to 10 years, okay, or something like that, at least a decade. Okay, not couple. But if he can
Yeah.
make 60% in less than a
Then
week,
a week or two.
he's doing great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
Right. Don't need to wait for 100% winners or that. He let the last runner run. He had a plan. He took it out. It overall pushed up his percentage. Okay. So green is green, just like he said. See it, take the money. Okay.
Yeah.
Kamran, I have a question for you. How does
Yeah.
your own projections about him match with what Rene just mentioned?
Pretty decent that I was looking to it. So I really appreciate the breakdown that you guys did. It's more information that I was looking forward.
Great. So, yeah, because like when you match your hypothesis against someone else's, no matter how
Yeah,
good the other person is, you have the conviction against for that.
yeah.
Okay. Win it or lose it, do it on your own terms, not because someone said it.
Yeah, I mean, that's my choice, but I was just trying to see your thought
Hmm.
and the experienced people's opinion on it. And,
You're
I
also
was trying to
experienced.
see, yeah, I mean, not as much you guys, but, I appreciate it.
So you make your hypothesis, bang the question, bounce the idea, you get even more conviction to stay in the trade.
Yeah, it gave me more confidence.
Yeah, so that's it. Okay. With that, I'll end it tonight. Okay. And tomorrow I will
Thank
try to
you.
live trade with you guys. Okay. Yeah, I'll be Usman, you need to take care of the levels on Tuesday and Wednesday. Those are the 2 days I'll be working on site this week, bro. Okay. And Smooth, if he manages to finish off the China deal, maybe he will be back. But if not,
Mm.
yeah, expect some volatility, nice volatility in the market.
So what time tomorrow? 10? 9:30?
10ish,
10?
10ish. Usman, would you be able? 10ish to join?
Yeah, I'll definitely try my best. Yeah, I think I'll be there.
Yeah, let's do it together. Alrighty. We'll try to stay as long as
Sounds good.
possible. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a good
All
night,
right.
everyone.
Talk to you guys
Thank
tomorrow.
you.
Have a good
Good
evening.
night.
Bye.
Bye.
You too. Good
Bye.
night.
Good night.